breaking news from the Special Licensing Unit. I am Josh from Lock and Load Podcast.
And I'm Michelle from Patriot Wear Holsters.
And also Lock and Load Podcast.
And Lock and Load Podcast.
And we are going to go over what was just released from the Special Licensing Unit. Again, they're having a real good week this week, aren't they?
Yep.
This is the second thing going on.
Very busy.
Very busy, huh? So what was just posted onto their website on the portal.ct.gov, if you go to DPS, State Police and Special Licensing and Firearms Unit, they have now added a new online renewal system for your pistol permits. So there's a how-to PDF copy. I guess we'll go over that first. I think that's that.
This one?
That one. Okay.
So it's basically creating an account for each person that has anything to do with this department, meaning pistol permits, probably blue cards, I would assume. But it's you get an account under you and your name, and then you can do various things within that account from what it looks like.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's the same aspect from when I changed my address, because I used the online system to change my address when I moved for my pistol permit. So we'll see.
I've never used an online form of them because that
was new. You haven't moved.
Correct.
So on the PDF, you have to have a photo of yourself taken within the last 6 months, a copy of your proof of citizenship or legal residency payment. It has to be completed on a computer, not a mobile device. Once your permit expires, you cannot renew it online. You'll need to mail in a renewal. So with the online renewal, there's going to be no grace period. And don't complete this renewal if you've already submitted it via mail. Make sure your address, phone number, and email are correct. And then there's a how-to creating your account, verifying your account. In here, it also looks like you'll be able to do, it's the same system to do your assault weapon certificate, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. You can renew it, pay your $70 renewal fee. And then it will be queued in processing. And then you should get a follow-up email once it's been processed. And then it says that you should receive a physical permit within 3 to 5 business days at your mailing address on file.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd hold my breath on the 3 to 5 business days. But maybe
it's from when it's processed. So it's not when you submit it. It's when they get to processing it, is my guess.
On their website as well, it does say they are currently processing pistol permits received on July 13th. It is November 14th. So they are September 14th. We got wedding brain.
Don't be jumping.
September 14th. That is
they delayed. They said they're about 2 to 2.5 months out right now. I think part of that, because they had gotten to a point where they were quite quick on this. I mean, and I say that relative. Okay, that's all a relative statement.
It's government quick.
Correct. But I think what's happened is between the laws that were passed, like we talked about in the last podcast we did, and then all of this stuff trying to make this come to par, I think it's backing them up a little bit again.
Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt. The people in that department are good people.
Yeah. I'm not complaining about them.
So
I just complain about the elected officials.
Yeah. And it's the structure in which things get done. It's not, quick.
So moving on to what you guys are probably here for, which is the online registration for Connecticut others or paper, it looks like. So reading off their website, effective 9/14/2023, the SLFU has opened an online portal for your registration for your quote unquote 2023 assault weapon.
Those are scary guns.
Yeah, I know. Well, they actually put it in quotes. This registration will need to be completed by, it says 5/1/2024. For the most recent version of assault weapon certificate application, which is a DPS 414C. Click here. We'll go through that. Instructions how to complete the online assault weapon registration. Click here, another PDF. And to access the online registration portal, you log into that.
That's probably the same portal you'd set up to renew your permit. Just by the way, it's all under the same thing. Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
So what
if I have an answer.
what you're reading, if our viewers decide to do this, can they see all of this so they can go online
that
and see all those clickable links?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
It says this process can be completed by mail. However, it's strongly recommended that you use the online portal.
Probably.
So going to the paper form, it looks pretty similar, I think, to the original assault weapon certificate. You do need to get your right thumbprint on here twice, it looks like. One for the application, which is one single piece of paper. On the top, it's the applicant, and on the bottom, it's then your possession certificate.
Because they're different.
Yeah, it's one piece of paper, but it's like cut in the middle.
No, I know, but like,
just reading what this says.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little weird. The online system. So there's a PDF on how to do the online system. You go and create the account again. You click on assault weapon certificate instead of pistol permit renewal. And then it looks like you put in the manufacturer, the importer, the serial number, the model, the caliber, any unique markings, and then submit that. You'll get an application temporary number. I'm on the how-to page, right? Probably right in back one.
Okay. I'm working. I'm with you.
We're going through it, or maybe it is that page.
Oh.
So it says on step 5 there, you'll need to verify your address, attach a completed copy of the DPS 414, which is that physical copy. So I guess you have to fill that out and do your thumbprint and then submit a copy.
Well, my guess would be it's going to
including fingerprint.
So what's going to happen is you're going to do all that, and either you put it on that form and then scan it in, so then it's on your computer, because you're going to have to scan it.
Yeah.
So that you can then electronically send it. So people who aren't able to do that may need to ask for friends' help.
So how are people going to get their fingerprint done?
Well, there's businesses that you might have to bring that form in and although no.
Yeah, ink rolling, right?
Maybe you just get an ink pad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a thumbprint, it's an ink pad to me. You could dump it, put it in the ink pad and put it on the paper. You're good to go. Then you scan.
So it says include fingerprint, one form for each firearm. Click save. Link will appear to choose file if uploaded correctly. So I guess we might do a video on me doing one for one of my few others.
Yeah. We could do that.
And see how that goes. Attach a copy of the DPS 3 form. That is the little piece of paper, or full sheet now, that you guys get once you register the gun with the state of Connecticut. The normal process.
Correct.
Or a bill of sale or affidavit for the purchase of this firearm.
Connecticut doesn't do bill of sales though, so that won't play a role here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's probably if you come in. I think it would be more if you come into this state, like if another state did something like that. Because I mean, most receipts don't say what you bought. It just has the cost of what it was. So my guess for Connecticut, it would be mostly this DPS 3. Okay. Or it's going to be an affidavit.
Yeah.
Is what you're going to have to do more.
It does say, please select unknown manufacturer if the manufacturer of your firearm is not listed. I'm sure that's going to happen a lot. That happens a lot with us when we have to register your firearms using the system. Once you submit that firearm, you'll receive a notice at the top of the screen confirming it has been submitted. You also receive an email confirmation. Make sure to check your spam and junk folder because it's coming from the state of Connecticut and everything they send is garbage. I mean, not garbage. It is very useful information.
Sometimes not recognizable.
Yes, unrecognizable. If you have more than so it's going to come up in a pending review status. If you've not completed your submission, it'll just say pending. So if you haven't put in all the information, it'll go be pending. Once it's pending review, then it's just waiting for the state to authorize it. Once it's been approved, it looks like there'll be a link. It'll say approved. It'll say the date it was received, the certificate number, and the issue date. It does say some things to note. The last day to complete this process is April 30th, 2024.
So wait a minute. They say it has to be in by 5/1, but then they tell you it has to be in by April 30th.
So which one?
So April 30th would be your date,
Yeah.
and that's what people need to pay attention to if they're going to register.
Please know it'll take us a substantial time to process these assault weapon applications. As long as you have the email with the make, model, and serial number saying it's been submitted, then your application will be processed. Make sure your information is correct in case they have to contact you. And please complete this promptly. It'll allow us ample time to assist with any questioning. And they leave an email for you to contact them at.
Keep in mind, if pistol permits are 2 months behind,
6,
they're going to be a lot longer.
6 months.
Well, depending on how many people register. My guess is you're going to have more than who's renewing per month right now.
Yeah.
For a short period of time. That would be my guess. It all depends on the compliance rates, and there's a lot of variables that go along with that. But the closer you get to that April 30th deadline, the
more of a mess it's going to be, guys.
Correct. You may not get your approval prior to that, which not necessarily. You have your pending paperwork. I mean, if I were you and you saw that it was pending, I would print something or save that someplace. So if anybody asks any questions, any law enforcement asks or whatever, you'd be able to say, hey, it's pending. But keep that in mind.
Yeah. That's all we have for today. We weren't planning on doing this. This got released, I don't know, a couple hours, maybe 2 hours ago. So that's what we had planned. And that is all we have planned, guys.
We'll go into more detail as we get more. Yep. Everybody's been asking about the registration. When's registration? When do we do the registration? How do we do the registration? We're giving you the information. We got it. We've looked at it briefly. This is the information we have. When we have more ins and outs, we will let you know. The other thing that we didn't touch on is keep in mind, if you did a Form 1 through the ATF for any of your others, your Connecticut compliant others, you still need to register it with Connecticut. It doesn't cover you across the board. Connecticut has basically 2 different lists. Everybody says, well, my gun's already registered, so why do I have to do it again? There is a special assault weapon list, and they somehow can't take your purchase and put it on that list. We have to do that and let them know. So that's why they're doing this all over again.
I do believe, though, which is interesting, that I believe it was Fishbein who brought it up. At least I swear hearing this, saying that if we had a Form 1, then we wouldn't have to do the assault weapon process. But
I just called.
Yeah. So Michelle talked to the state briefly. And that, I guess, is not true. You will have to do this even if you got a Form 1, which was registering your short barrel rifle or short barrel other.
Yes. The only thing, it's a Connecticut compliant other.
Yeah.
So the only thing they don't know is, and this was specifically asked, was when we send in our paperwork, if they need a copy of the Form 1 application or approval that we got back from ATF. And the answer was, we're still not sure.
So that are your politicians for you. They make policy and don't consult the people that actually have to enforce the policy. Mm-hmm. And then it takes more time. In the last bit of news, there is still no update on the instructor aspect.
No.
I thought that was hopefully going to get released with this. It has not. So that might be another breaking podcast.
Yeah, because it's
in the back of all the instructors' minds.
Well, they tell you they want you to add it to your curriculum. Well, what
are we adding?
Do you want added to the curriculum?
Well, especially for NRA instructors too.
Well, and especially because NRA technically doesn't want you to talk about laws. So now Connecticut's directly come in conflict with what the curriculum is.
This is why I use USCCA curriculum, because I can legally talk about gun laws. It's in there.
Yep, I get it.
So we will wrap up this one, guys. Short little 15-minute video. Thanks for viewing again. My name is Josh.
And I'm Michelle.
And we will see you guys next time.